Hello, welcome you all in this session. This is Dr. Mandira Agarwal. I am professor in Department of Petroleum Engineering and Earth Sciences, and I am also heading the Corporate Social Responsibility as Deputy Director at UPES. In this session, I'll be briefing you about one of our flagship and one of the most prestigious program called BTech Applied Petroleum Engineering with specialization in upstream. You all know that oil and gas is driving the world today. It controls the modern economy and industrial development across the globe. It provides the fuel for transport and also for heating, lighting, and the cooking. In addition, they are also used in the manufacturing industries for synthetic fibers, fabrics, plastics, fertilizer, detergent, and so many. In fact, it is very hard to imagine for us that our life without the oil and gas in today's context. And the demand of oil and gas is ever increasing. The 84% of the crude oil which is refined into fuel is used for the transport, and the rest of the 16% of the crude oil is used for the range of products. You name any product, it will be linked with oil and gas industry, like medicines, like pens, crayons, CDs, DVDs, plastics, fertilizer, adhesive, rubber, fabric, then Vaseline, the any product, you name it, in today's life, you will see that they are some way or the other, they are linked to the oil and gas industry. So you know the importance of the oil and gas industry. So you want to come and join this program, the BTech Applied Petroleum Engineering with specialization in upstream. But so many must be, I'm guessing that so many questions are coming to your mind. Like, what is upstream? What does the upstream company do? How is oil and gas formed? What is the difference between exploration and exploitation? Does exploration always lead to production? What is drilling? What is reservoir simulation and also reservoir stimulation? Does exploration and production of oil and gas harm the environment? Is the extraction of shale gas environment friendly? So this kind of questions is haunting to in your mind. So I say that you will get the answers of all these questions if you are a student of petroleum engineering. As a student of petroleum engineering, you need to get trained in all major technical aspects in relation to the entire hydrocarbon value chain. So the oil and gas industry is divided into three sectors. One is upstream, where actually you will be mainly confined to. The other is midstream, and the third is downstream. So when we say upstream, it is mainly focused in exploration and production. That's why it is also known as E&P sector. Midstream, when you say, it is focused on transportation of these resources, and the downstream, it is all about the refining process. So petroleum engineering program, it will revolve around G&G, reservoir engineering. G&G, when we say, it is geology and geophysics. Then comes to reservoir engineering, then drilling engineering, and then completion and production engineering. So Before that, I just wanted to say, before going in detail about all these aspects, I just wanted to say that, see, it starts from geology and geophysics, what I said, G and G. So first is you have to know the geology of the area to find out the location where hydrocarbon might occur. So you do the geological exploration, do the geophysical surveys, and with this, with the help of GNG, you establish the petroleum system. Now, when you establish the petroleum system, so you know that where it might occur. So you go for drilling. When you do the drilling, the next stage is the production. And then when you produce it, it comes the storage aspect. And then after that, it is refinery and the distribution. So this is the whole hydrocarbon value chain. So you know now that major task in the oil exploration is to locate the site where there are right kinds of rocks and the right kinds of geological structure in which actually help the hydrocarbon to get accumulated. So from geology side and the geophysical study, you actually locate that target where you might find you might get the right kind of rocks and the right kind of geological structure which by which the oil got trapped in that location. So just before that, when you start geology, you have to know, in geology only, you have to know in the initial state that how actually, what is the kind of rock where actually you might expect the hydrocarbon or petroleum, I should say. So it is the sedimentary rocks, and chiefly it is of marine origin. And the sedimentary rocks, it should have abundant organic material and it should have non-oxidizing conditions. So the organic material, it can be from the plankton and the animal plankton also. So you can know the size of these organic remains or organic material. It is, you can say, 10,000 of these plankton, either the plant or the animal, it would fit on a pinhead. So you know the size of this organism. These microscopic plants and animals, they live in the ocean, and when they die, they settle down on the seabed. So this is just, I wanted to show you with just an animation that how these organic plants and the animals, when they die or they get settled down in the sediments. Now, when then after that they settle down at the seabed, then there are, for millions of years, they are settled down along with the sediments which is coming and getting deposited in the depression which is known as basin. So when it reaches, so much of sediments is getting accumulated in millions of years, and it reaches the temperature and pressure is increasing because of that. The temperature might be, where we expect the origin of hydrocarbon, it should attain the temperature of 65 degree centigrade to 150 degree centigrade. And it happens in the depth of 2130 meter to 5500 meter. And the pressure, that the required pressure is 3220 psi to 8280 psi. This is the condition where actually these organic remains, they get decomposed to hydrocarbon. So this get decomposed and they produce these organic remains. They produces hydrocarbons in the rock, which is sedimentary rock, and which is known as because they get originated there. Hydrocarbon gets originated there, so it is known as the source rock, because this rock is the source of hydrocarbon. So what is source rock? I have already told you that these are and it should have some characteristics. The characteristic is it should have pores in it. So it should be porous sedimentary rock, and it should have abundant organic matter, at least 0.5 to 5%. More, it is always better. So pores, why it should have pores? Because these pores can contain the organic remains. So this is one of the right hand side, you can see one picture of the source rock, which is shale. So shale is very good source rock. Limestone also can act as a very good source rock. So from the source rock, it moves into the nearby reservoir rock. So this is called the hydrocarbon migration. So what is reservoir rock then? So reservoir rock, it should have the different characteristics than the source rock. So the reservoir rock is porous and permeable. Why permeable? Because it should be able to hold the oil, gas or water, and when you drill in this rock, the hydrocarbon should be able to flow from this reservoir rock to the wellbore. That's why it should be permeable. So this, one of the very good example of reservoir rock is the sandstone. It can be siltstone, it can be porous limestone or porous dolomite. So carbonate reservoir is also there, and then the sandstone reservoir is also there in the globally. So I have just showing, this is again, I'm showing you a glimpse of a animation that how from the source rock it gets migrated into the reservoir rock. Now, after the reservoir rock, above the reservoir rock, there should be some cap rock, presence of cap rock also. The cap rock actually, it restricts the flow of the hydrocarbon vertically. It restricts the more flow of the hydrocarbon towards the surface. So there should be an impervious layer, and this is called the cap rock. And it should be of the same nature like the source rock. So that means it should be porous but impervious. Now, this is not only required. We need, that means you know the rock type, which are sedimentary rocks. So from geology, you want to study these rock types. And then we need, it's not only the rock types, you need some geological structure. It may be fold, it may be fault, it can be, sometimes it can be the salt dome, which can get pierced into the formation, and then when it gets pierced into the formation gets folded and faulted, which actually help, you know, for the hydrocarbon formation. So it comes now, you have to know the petroleum system. Now, when you say petroleum system, so petroleum system is the reservoir, the source rock, you already know. You have to have reservoir rock, and you have to have impervious, the cap rock, which is also known as seal or the roof rock, and you have to know the geological structure, which are known as trap. So everything, the source rock, reservoir rock, the cap rock, the geological structure, these together you can call it as the petroleum system. So from the geology, that means it helps to find out the right type of rocks and the trap where actually petroleum can be found, and so that in the buried reservoir also you can find out when you do the surface geology. And it also helps, you know, the geologists, they make the geological map and then cross section, but nowadays the software also is used, like Rockware software, which helps to prepare the geological map and the geological cross section. Now, geological map, in the geological map you find out the extension of the rock types, and then when you, in the geological study with an instrument called Brampton compass, you measure the deep and strike of the formation, and then with the help of those you actually then prepare the cross section of that area. When you make the cross section, it will help you to find out the formation, how it is extending, this formation extending beneath the surface, because we are studying at the surface. So we have to know how this formation, they will behave underneath the surface in the normal condition. So with the geology, you find out all these things. This is one example of the geological map where the geologists prepare to show the different formation, to show the different structures. Here it is showing the different formation, the limestone, where it is limestone, where it is slate, where it is quartzite, and then also showing the faults. So which actually help, for the trapping of hydrocarbon. This is the cross section. So it is near Dehradun only, and where actually the ONGC had exploratory well they drilled, and although they did not find till now that commercial hydrocarbon hydrocarbon here, but they tried. This is the way you make the cross section, so that you know the where the formation from the surface, that how they will behave underneath the surface. So this is again another picture, another figure, I should say, map. You see that, this is the border. This is giving a border between Iran and Iraq, and you see all the green patches. Actually, it represents the oil field, and these oil fields, they are aligned in a particular direction. So this is the geological structure which actually is controlling the alignment of these oil fields. So the geology is the most important and the most vital part of your program, because you have to start with geology. Then this is another field. It is showing Mangala field, Asheria field. This is actually in the Barmer region of Rajasthan. And then this also, you are seeing that all the fields, they are located in a particular direction. There comes the geological structure again, the importance of geological structure. So geology, you must have got how it helps in defining the target area. And then comes the geophysical method. Geophysical method, it measures the physical properties of minerals and rocks. And it can be gravity method. You start with an instrument. It actually measures the variation in the Earth's gravitational field, which is caused due to the density difference. So you find out that where we are finding where it may lie underneath the surface. When you measure the variation with the instrument called gravimeter, you can actually delineate those areas where we can expect the igneous rock, where we expect the metamorphic rock, where we expect the sedimentary rock. We will be interested for the sedimentary rock, because the density, that will be much more in the igneous and metamorphic rock, where the density will be negative anomaly. It will be shown by the sedimentary rock. So this way you can delineate the sedimentary area. But it can be, with the gravity method, we can't find out the measure, very, very deep. So it is restricted to about 5,000 feet we can measure. So there is another method which is called magnetic method. Again, the instrument is known as magnetometer. We can do it on the land, and we can use it in the aeroplane also. So that is called the aeromagnetic survey. So we can find out the Earth's magnetic field. We can measure that, and we can again delineate the sedimentary rock and the igneous and metamorphic rock, because there is one mineral called magnetite which will be present in the igneous and metamorphic rock, and which will be absent in the sedimentary rock. So where you will find the positive anomaly, that means it is having the magnetite mineral, and that will be for indicator of the presence of igneous and metamorphic rock. So next comes seismic method, which is very, very important. And in seismic method, you can measure the velocity at the seabed, rocks which are exposed at the seabed also. So it can reach to the deeper and deeper exploration. So in this method, actually artificial sound waves are created on land and offshore also you can use. And when these artificial sound waves, they actually hit the interface between two different kind of rocks. They will strike and then they will reflect back, and this reflected energy or waves, it is then received by, actually on land it is called the geophones. Geophones are being fixed on the land, and in the offshore, I'll be saying, and then it's telling you in the next slide. So in the onshore, what happened, that this vibrator truck, they emit the sound energy. So reflected waves are received by the geophones, and then the data transmitted to the seismograph, which is kept in the recording truck. And this is here actually the time of the reflected energy from the reflecting surface underneath it. What is the time actually it is taking to reach to the surface? That time is being measured, and then the data is processed using software to produce a seismic image of the different subsurface structure. So it is very, very important, and it's used everywhere. So this is the offshore again. Instead of truck, you use the airship, and then instead of here it is hydrophone, it is used, and which picks up the reflected waves, and then again the data is transmitted to the seismograph, which is kept in the recording ship. And that, here I have already told you, again it is the time which is measured, that so that what is the time that sound wave energy is taking to from the underneath the surface to reach to the surface. So offshore it is mostly it is very, very useful, because the ship can go in any direction and it can travel easily. And here it is air gun is used. There on the onshore it is the vibrator truck you can use. Dynamite was used before, but nowadays because of the environment consideration, so we are not using the dynamite in most of the cases. We are using the vibrator truck. So through the vibrator truck, the artificial sound energy is being created. And in the offshore, it is the air gun. So you know now GNG is how important. So you have to know very, very methodically the GNG. Then comes the reservoir engineering. Now reservoir engineering will tell you it actually helps you to estimate the size of the reservoir, because bigger the size of the reservoir, we'll expect more hydrocarbon. Then determine how much oil and gas reserves are there in the reservoir. Finally, we work out how to maximize the economic return from extracting them, because how much we can extract, whatever is there in the reservoir, how much we are able to extract. So that is actually reservoir engineering. It also determines what kind of wells to be drilled, whether it will be vertical wells or will be multilateral wells, or it will be the directional wells, and how many wells are needed and where they should be located, because you have to be very precise, because you will be losing money otherwise. So, and in the reservoir engineering, actually, again, another very important thing which we will be studying, that in reservoir engineering, this is called reservoir simulation, that computer models are prepared to predict the flow of the fluids, and these reservoir models are built by using the seismic data, well log, production history, etc. So these are computer models, they are prepared and they are compared with the actual model, actual reservoir actually. So this is reservoir engineering, and then comes to the drilling engineering. Now drilling, that the question is coming, that what is actually meant by drilling. So it is the method by which hydrocarbon you bring it to the it is reached, actually you are reaching the hydrocarbon in the subsurface by making a hole through the formation. So drilling engineer must understand the geological structure of the reservoir and the techniques that are needed to drill into into the formation. So everyone here as a team, actually you will be working. If you are working as a drilling engineer, because after finishing your BTech APE Upstream, you can be engaged as drilling engineer. So you have to work with the GNG group, you have to work with the reservoir engineer, you have to work with the production engineer. So you have to be very, very good in the communication also, and you have to understand each and everything about the reservoir. So what is drilling rig? The question must be coming. So it is a complex equipment which is used to penetrate the surface in the earth's crust. It can be onshore drilling, it can be offshore. But onshore drilling, the land is there, it gives a platform, the ground will give you the platform from where you will drill. But at sea, there won't be any ground for you. So you have to create an artificial drilling platform over there. It has to be constructed. So whether onshore or offshore, drilling a well into the potential reservoir is the only way of proving the presence of hydrocarbon. When you drill, then only actually you are 100% sure that whether you will be getting hydrocarbon or not. That means is it a wet well or the dry well? So, and the drilling is it is an very, very expensive program, and it represents a large fraction of the total project's capex. Capex is capital expenditure, and it is typically of 20 to 60%. So it can range from a few million US dollar for an onshore well, that is on the land, to over 100 million US dollar for the deep water exploration well. So you know the kind of cost to drill a well. So average drilling cost, I just can give you an idea that exploratory drilling cost, at least it is $4 to $5 million on land, assuming a well depth of 5,000 feet. And it can range more than 28 to 80 million at sea, that means in the offshore. So you know the kind of drilling cost it is involved in the drilling. In case of very deep or difficult drilling operation, that means very deep water, extreme climatic condition, etc. So this can rise to greater than $135 million. So it is always said that petroleum is an or oil and gas industry is a very, very risky venture, and but a profitable venture. Once you get in a wet well, you really are in profit. Deep water drilling rig, because the rig you will be requiring for the drilling, so for 100 days it can cost around 100 million US dollar. So you can think of the cost now. So, and you also should know the probability of finding hydrocarbon by drilling, because you are drilling, you are incurring the expenditure, but the probability of finding hydrocarbon is 1 in every 10 to 12 wells drilled. That's why it is known as very, very risky venture. These are the different rigs which are used in the offshore. It depends on the how deep you are going to get the hydrocarbon. If it is less than 20 feet, you use a rig which is known as swamp barge, and then if it is 25 to 450 feet, we use the jackup rig. And if it is to a depth of 25,000 feet, we use the semi-submersible rigs. And if it is more than 30,000 feet, we use a rig which is known as drill ship. Now these ships, this can be transferred or it can be placed from one location to other. You can take it. But once you find out that the field is having the potential hydrocarbon and commercial viable hydrocarbon, if you find, then you use the fixed platform. So it is fixed. You cannot move it from one place to another. The other, it is movable. The legs can be raised and it can be floated. So the earth is drilled by rotation of the drill bit, and the drill bit, this button kind of thing, it is made up of, mostly if it is a very hard rock, then it is made up of industrial diamond. Otherwise, if it is a softer rock, you can use the bits, the tooth of the bits. It can be with the it can be for with the help of the steel tooth can be used. But if it is a hard formation, you have to use the diamond. And the type of drilling, when I say, it can be vertical well, it can be the directional well, okay, it can be horizontal well, it can be multilateral well, depending on the condition where you are drilling actually. So these all you will be learning in your course. Then comes the completion and production engineering. Now what does it mean, the completion engineering? It is focused to complete the drilled well. You have drilled. Now you have to make the well ready to produce. So there comes the completion engineering. So it determines what kind of tubing, because it is a hole you have made, so you have to case the hole, you have to cement it, and you have to put the tubing, and all the downhole equipment should enter into the well, for the production. So it determines, and also when you case it and then cement it, then how the hydrocarbon from the formation will enter your wellbore. So at that place, at that zone where you are expecting the hydrocarbon, you have to make the perforation. So where exactly you have to make the perforation, the completion engineer will decide. It designed the stimulation program. I said reservoir simulation and the reservoir stimulation in the beginning. So stimulation means, you have to enhance the production. Sometimes the reservoir doesn't produce, so you have to inject acidization, you have to do acidization, okay, so that you can make fractures, and then it starts flowing into your wellbore. So at times this fracturing or the fracking, it will cost more than the drilling. So it is very, very important that we get it right. So it also designed that there will be Christmas tree, which is seen. Most of you in the oil field, you don't see anything in the subsurface what is happening, but you see the one kind of structure which is known as Christmas tree on the surface, which lots of valve, that means which actually controls the hydrocarbon flow at the surface. That is called the Christmas tree. I'll be showing you the figure. And it also, the completion engineer, it also will selects the equipment for the artificial lift. That means if the reservoir is unable to produce hydrocarbon on its own, then what are the methods we have to apply for the reservoir to make the flow or to make the production. So this is the kind of one figure that you see the tubing, you see the casing, you see the cementing, and you see the perforation, and through this the hydrocarbon is flowing onto the surface through the tube. These are the tubing. This is the right hand at the top hand side, top portion. You are seeing the Christmas tree, which you are most of the, even in the films, even in the, somewhere if you go in Rajasthan in the Barmat district, you will see plenty of this Christmas tree, which actually when the hydrocarbon comes to the surface, so this actually controls the flow of the hydrocarbon. And this, the right hand side, right hand at the bottom, you see one sucker rod pump. This also you must be seeing in many of the English movies. You can see this picture. This actually, when the reservoir is unable to produce on its own pressure, then we use the artificial method to produce the hydrocarbon with this pump. There are different kind. I have given you one picture only. I have shown you. So when you actually will be joining, so these are the different technical aspects and technical subjects which will be required, for you to study. And then many softwares and programming languages you have to learn here. The C, C++, database management system, spatial database system, software for the reservoir simulation, reservoir studies. You have to you would come to know about how to use the Petrel software, Eclipse software, ArcGIS, which tells you about the geology and geophysics. So you will be knowing various kind of software, you would be able to handle it. So, and now the main thing is what are the kind of laboratories which are available at the Department of Petroleum Engineering and Earth Sciences. So geology lab, then we have drilling fluid and cementation lab, reservoir engineering lab, reservoir simulation lab, GIS and image processing lab. These are the various few the labs which are available at UPES in the Department of Petroleum Engineering. So this is a glimpse of rock museum we have at UPES. And this is again a glimpse in the geology lab. So various samples and the optical microscope to study these samples we have. And then we have the plugging machine for making core, the samples you bring, and you have to make it a core plug for finding out the porosity and the permeability. So you have to first make the sample as into a plug. So you have the plugging machine. Then you have to trim that core plug. For that we have the trim saw machine. Then we have the Mohs scale of hardness to find out the hardness of the mineral. Then you have porosimeter to find out the porosity of the rock, of the sample. Then we have stereoscopic binocular microscope for microfossil study, because microfossil study is very, very important in the in the field of hydrocarbon or the oil and gas industry. Then we have hydrometer for determining the mud density, because for drilling you would be using the mud, because that will give the lubricity and that will control the pressure also. So you use the mud, so you have to know what is the density of the mud. So we have the instrument or equipment, you should say. Shearometer for determining the gel strength of the drilling mud. And then we have the pH meter for finding out the determining pH of the drilling mud. It shouldn't be acidic. It shouldn't, what kind of drilling mud you would be using. So you have the GPS, we have the GPS in our laboratory, so that you can find out your location, where you are studying, where you are standing. And then we have the mixer, which is used to prepare the mud sample, which gives the given chemicals. So many equipments, and mostly you name any equipment, it is there in our lab, in our department. You have Brunton compass. I have already talked to you to measure the dip and strike of the formation. And then you have liquid permeameter. You have resistivity meter to find out the resistivity of the formation, permeability of the formation. And also very interesting, you hardly find any place that we have the rig zone here. So to give a flavor of the drilling at the campus itself, so the students, they go to the rig zone and they study how the drilling is being carried out. And then the student, they BTech applied petroleum engineering, they need to do the minor project and the major project. Number of projects are being are being done, completed by our students. Very interesting projects they make it. I just have given one slide only. That is one project that the students have done this year. One is called the gas lift, the left one, and the right one, the figure is showing for the oil skimming project. The oil skimming, you must be hearing about oil spill nowadays. So how, if there is by accident or by anything, there is a oil spill, and then how you can skim the oil from the water. And then gas lift, I have already told you, the artificial lift, that means when reservoir is not able to produce, then we inject gas to produce the hydrocarbon. So this is one of the projects our students have done. Then they have to go for the industrial tour. This is just a glimpse where these year the students have gone to Wipro and Infosys and many other places they are going. So this is a glimpse. They have to do the industry, they have to go to the industry, and then to get to see that, because they are studying the theoretical subject, although they are doing carrying out the laboratory work, but they want to see actually in the industry how the work is being carried out. So they go there, they have to make report, they have to give presentation, then we have the viva for that. So it is, they have to take it very, very seriously, this industrial tour also. And then very interestingly, we have different, in our department, we have different student chapter. Because in the interview nowadays, the people who are coming from the industry, they don't only look for the academics. They also look for the extracurricular activities, how the students are involved in the extracurricular activities. So for that, we have established various student chapter here, like SPE, Society of Petroleum Engineering. Then we have Petrotech. Then we have ACG, that means Society of Exploration Geophysicists. And then we have AAPG, that means American Association of Petroleum Geologists. So we have these many chapters, and the students are actively involved in these chapters. This is just a glimpse. You just see it is in 2014 and 15, Best Chapter Award to UPS Petrotech chapter at 6th Annual Convention in the country, where the Delhi University, then ISM, and all these big the IITs, they are coming and we are competing with them. Our students, they are getting this kind of award. Here, there's just 2 months ago, the best presentation award was awarded to UPS Petrotech chapter at 7th Annual Convention. So this is the kind of achievement. Then SPE student chapter doing wonderfully well. They have been awarded the prestigious Outstanding Chapter Award 2015. So every year, one of the students, Amir Lokanala, he is now working with the Slumberger. So he just went to Texas to receive the award. So this is the kind of work our students are involved. This is, the students are also involved. They are going national conference, international conference, and presenting their papers. This is one of the glimpses where our BTech APE Upstream student, they are presenting their papers in China on study of flow mechanism of shale gas and establishment of gas production model, and they got the second prize in that. So this is, I don't want to read these, so many places they have gone and got the position, first, second, mostly. So quiz, or you can say case study presentation, you can say parliamentary aptitude, what should be, and the poster presentation, then paper presentation. Here it is, they have gone to RGIPT and they have been awarded these many prizes, and so many students. I have just given a short list. And here at PDPU, our students have gone and they have again, they scored first, and most of the cases it is the first prize they get. Here IIT Bombay, again they have gone and presented the paper. So our students are actively participating. We give ample opportunity to the students to to do well in these activities only. They are not confined in the classroom only. So here again, IIT Roorkee, just 2016, just 2 months back, we had taken them, and they got so many prizes in IIT Roorkee also in their Tech Fest, in the Tech Fest. So they have presented papers and got the first prize. You can see so many first prizes they have already secured. So again, IIT Roorkee, again, so many prizes they have gone in these 2000. About 30 prizes they got in the Cognizance IIT Roorkee Fest this year. So here the students are also going for the GATE examination. This 2016, you can see the rank, what we have got, all India rank our students have received. So you can see they are doing well in the GATE examination also, because they want to do higher studies. At times they don't want to go for to join immediately to the industry. They want to do higher studies. So here it is not only GATE. Some of our BTech APE Upstream, Applied Petroleum Engineering student, they even going for the management course after finishing their BTech APE Upstream. And one of the students, they scored 99.99 percentile in CAT examination, and he has been offered to join IIM Ahmedabad and also to Bangalore. So it's wonderful achievements I can tell you that our students are doing from this course. And here it is again math examination. Prashant Chaube is one of our student. He got 98.89 percentile in the math examination also. 100% placement for 2012 and 2016 batch, because this is very important and it is haunting in your mind, I believe. And two of our students, they were selected for the post of rig engineer in Saudi Arabia by Weatherford Drilling International. So they are going to Saudi Arabia. So this is we have exchange program also, and the students from Mexico, they are coming here, and this time I think so many people will be from our side also, from UPS also. Slowly they will be moving to the other places to do their program. And so what are the career options for you after knowing so many things about the industry? So you can be employed as rig engineer. So I told you just this year also, two of our students got selected as for rig engineer. They got the placement by Weatherford. So production engineer, you can be selected for reservoir engineer, drilling engineer, well logging engineer, well testing analyst, mud logging engineer. So there are plenty of opportunities for you to join the industry. These are some of the recruiters, the students they have joined: Greca, Acer, Infosys, Fugro, Schlumberger, Shell, Reliance, Cybertech, Sapient, Wipro, Halliburton, Tata Consultancy, Weatherford. These are some of the recruiters where our students have joined, and they're doing extremely well in the companies. But a number of students, they do not go for placement. As I said, they are going for GATE, they are going for math, they are going for CAT. So they want to do higher studies. So through the GATE, they are actually going to Mumbai IIT, Kanpur IIT, ISM, etc. Foreign university, again GRE, they are sitting for GRE, and they are getting admission in Canada through GRE, US, UK, Norway, France. Our students, they are joining for the higher studies. So, what are you waiting for? The world is at your doorstep. So, I have given most of the things which is actually coming to your mind. But anyway, thank you so much for hearing me, and any question I'll be eager to reply. They're not asking me. So, So your question is, can you tell something about packages of petroleum in oil and gas? I have already told you most of the time the average package is uh, 3 to 6, but last this year they have also scored more than 13 lakhs also in this crisis, because you know the industry situation now. So here also I have told you about the 100% placement, and they are getting good package. Average package is around 3.68, you can say, or they 3.86, and then highest is 13.68. So another question, ma'am, how is the placement of petroleum? Again, I have already replied to you. Is APE majorly theoretical theory science? I think you have seen, if you have really carefully seen my presentation, you have seen the kind of laboratory work and the industry visit and the minor project, major project they do. It is based on theory, but they do the practical work. And if you don't know the practical, so what you will be after joining the industry, what you are going to do? So it is theory you have to study in the classroom, and then you have to apply it in your laboratory. Why students after graduating as a petroleum engineer join companies like Infosys and Accenture? Yes, it is a very good question again. So you join because most of these companies that you have named, that means the Infosys, etc., Accenture, they have got the energy vertical. So our students, they work in the energy vertical, and you have understood that. See, it is the time of software. So you have to use for the reservoir simulation, for the geology, you have to use lot of software. So you have to be, if you join there also, you will have to use the software for actually the reservoir simulation, geological studies, etc., geophysical studies, etc. So you are ultimately working for the reservoir. One question is very funny. PDPU is better or UPS? PDPU, it is hardly few years, and we are here. We are the first one in the Pan-Asian region to open this the program. It is our flagship course. I have already told you since 2003. Yeah, we are running the course. PDPU is a very young in front of us. So naturally, ours is the established one. So you will get every facility here. Next question is, ma'am, isn't petroleum reservoir going to end soon? When I was a student of Roorkee IIT, I used to listen the same thing, because it hasn't been finished. Because every with time you are using with the most technically you are much more advanced. So you would be able to find more and more reservoir. So it is not going to end. So because 30 years back when I was a student, or 25 years back when I was a student of IIT Roorkee, I also had the same feeling. So, but today it is not finished yet, so it will not get finished. But see, when oil and gas, because this is today, it is the prime source of energy. Now we have to think for the other source of energy. That's why you have more subject like, even the subject like CBM, coal bed methane, and also you will be learning about the shale gas. So we are thinking about that also. When oil is going to be exhausted, we have to have unconventional energy resources. That also is a part of BTech Applied Petroleum Engineering program. So you would be thorough with every aspect. Ma'am, if I opt for chemical with specialization in petrochemicals as a branch, then can I go for upstream branch in future or not? Is APE or gas stream good? It depends on your interest. If you have interest As an upstream, you have to join in the upstream sector. It depends all, everything it will depend on your interest. So I can't, even your parents won't be able to guide you in that way. Whatever interest you have to speak to your parents, you have to speak to us, then only you can choose you choose your career. So it depends wholly on your interest. I think. Okay, another question was there. I just missed it. As the global prices of petrol is coming down at a rapid rate and global oil market is undergoing economic depreciation at present, do we have a golden future being a petroleum engineer? Yes, of course. You have a golden future in petroleum engineer. This is, it always reaches a peak and comes down. Again, it revises back. So we are expecting that within few years it will again come back to the original. Which one is better at UPS, CS or petroleum? I have already told you it depends on your interest. So, does ONGC come for oil and gas, petroleum? ONGC and all the PSU, they are not coming to they have to get through the GATE score. They have their own exam and you have to get the GATE score. Not only here, PSU is not going to any campus nowadays, and they are, you have to, through the GATE only, you can apply to them, and then they have their exam and you can get through. Any question? Any more query? What is the maximum scholarship to state? Yeah, for the Uttarakhand students, we have few scholarship. So, if you are from Uttarakhand, you can apply for that. So one is very important, very, I think it is very good question. I have heard that being a petroleum engineer, we need to work in very tough conditions, which are basically on field work. Can petroleum engineer also get desk job? Yes, petroleum engineer also can desk job if you join the IT sector and work in the softwares, but in the energy vertical. So you will be doing the desk job. But as a, I think you are a boy, not a girl. So the girls are going to the field job now. So I don't think you should ask this question. But even then, I'm answering you that yes, you can do when you join the IT sector, which are having the energy vertical. Any more? Anything you want to know? So this answer, what is the maximum package? This will answer. This will be answered by. I think you should be very, very happy that in this crisis, when the market condition is so bad, we have record of 100% placement. So you should be very, you should, from that only you should come to know that what is the kind of the position you will be getting when you join this university UPS for this program. Okay. Yuvraj Chopra. I have already told you about the foreign exchange program that the students they are coming from University of Mexico. They are coming, so we are initiating for our students also. But they are doing the project work. They are going to the various universities, the international universities. They are going and carrying out their project work. And for the foreign exchange program, we will be initiating for our students also. The conditions of 55% marks in PCM you have already seen it, so you know it that the with for 55% you would be able to get admission here or not. Is petroleum engineering boring? Can see it a lot theoretical. No, petroleum engineering is not boring. You will be uh, doing so much of that's what the theoretical as well as practical you would be doing. So it is not at all boring. It's you will be doing so many projects. You will be doing your industry visit, you will be doing laboratory work, so it is not at all boring. For average package of CSE, you have to ask, not me. Naturally, I just again want to highlight that theory you have to understand, and then with this theoretical knowledge you have to apply in your practical. So the the petroleum engineering, it's when you join, it is mostly in the, you have, one of you have asked that whether it is a field job, and some of you are asking it is it a practical or theoretical. So naturally if it is a field, it's it is oriented to the field, so naturally it has to be a practical one. So it is very conflicting, you people are asking. So anyway, it is a theoretical and the practical. Theory you have to understand, even in your any other subjects. In the physics, you have to understand the theory before you go into the lab. So here also it is the same thing. There are a number of girls, you know, last year also, even the girl, she stood first and got into cane. So there are a number of girls in the class. So ratio, I won't be able to tell you exact ratio, but there are a number of girls and they're doing extremely well. How many universities in India have APE? So you have to find out, it is PDPO, you have got RGIPT, then you have in the ISM. So these three you have already got. But in whole Pan-Asia region, ours is the first one to have this kind of course. Hmm? Okay. If you have, thank you so much. And if you have any other query, please mail it to us on btech@upes.ac.in. So thank you.